First, should Britain take more than 20,000 Afghan refugees? Now, the government has said they will resettle that many, and priority will be given to women and girls and religious and other minorities. Now, 5,000 Afghan nationals will be resettled within the next year. Now, this new scheme, I should say, is separate to another scheme which aims to help locally employed staff, such as translators, whose lives are under serious threat. Now, Canada already has plans to admit 20,000 refugees this year alone. So here's the question: should we resettle more? Lowri.
We're going to talk about planning and building on green space later, aren't we? And I think that's relevant. I think we are a small island. I think parts of this country are very crowded. Canada's an awful lot bigger. They've got a lot more space to put people in. So I think that is relevant. I don't think I think both 20,000 is not enough and too many. Not enough because there are so many people. If we're going to say that all women are at risk, that's 20 million people.
No, well, they're saying 20,000.
Exactly. So it's a tiny, tiny amount. So the question is, how do you qualify? Who are we going to bring in? I think it's almost... And we must take some, but it's almost such a tiny amount. It doesn't solve the problem. It's not enough, and it's too many at the same time.
So how many do you think would be a realistic?
I think realistically we're talking probably more like 50,000. But even that's not enough, really.
But what do you feel? What number do you feel?
I feel we should be taking people who've worked with us,
then we
should be holding still to see what happens. I don't think we. Because I think at the moment we're creating panic. Get on that plane quick because it's your last chance.
We're
to get
not
out.
Creating panic. They are panicking.
Because they know what's happened 20 years ago.
They are seeing what's going on around them.
I think if there was an election tomorrow in Afghanistan, the Taliban...
Lowri, we'll make you the head of the United Nations if that's what you think. I mean, seriously.
Right.
We have obligations to people. We'll put aside for one moment the humanitarian aspect.
Yeah.
We have obligations to people who work for us for 20 years. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of them. They have...
But didn't they work for themselves as well?
Hang on.
Lowri, they deserve to be looked after.
And there is a plan for them, translated.
Well, they say a plan. If we can make something work. This is going on an hour-by-hour, day-by-day basis. Joe Biden has said that initially that they're going to pull the troops, going to stop everything by the 31st. He's now said he's going to extend it until all the Americans are back in. But on a daily basis, people can't get to the airport. People can't get inside the airport once they're there. They can't necessarily get visas. They're in hiding because already the knock has come on the door. And it's all right that...
So how many do you think 20,000 is not enough?
20,000 over however many years the government says is not enough. People need help now. And it's,
And I want, on that point, you saying we need help now, let's remind ourselves of what the situation is, because there have been some distressing images from Kabul where families with children are absolutely desperate to get out of the country. Now, we've seen families handing children across barricades to soldiers. I think we've got pictures here of others waving their babies in the air. Clearly, so many people are very, very desperate to escape. There are also reports of mothers throwing babies over barbed wire at the airport, begging soldiers to take them away to safety. So if you could if you could talk directly to any of those mothers who would say, please, please, we want to get out of the country, and not necessarily to Britain, but let's talk in this case for Britain, what would you say to those mothers watching?
Well, I can't give them advice because I'm not in
No,
that
what
situation.
would you say if they want to come to Britain?
Well, lots of people might want to come. I would say, let's see what happens. I know that sounds harsh, but I think. But hang on, because I think that this kind of hang on. I think that the sort of Western democratic system was foisted onto what is a very complex country.
Yeah, but
and I think that we have to allow the Afghans to decide for themselves.
All right, if they could have done that, they would have done that. And
that's infantilising an entire nation, which I think is patronising.
The Taliban is different. The Taliban came in with their extreme views.
It's born in that area of the world, and there are many people.
Let's just hear Nina. Let's just let Nina.
Had quite a lot yakking on. The thing is, these people deserve our help. They are in parlous straits. They are in desperate need. They are in danger of being slaughtered, mutilated, their lives taken away from them. This is just a situation because we have not put in place a system. Or, you know, it's all right for Biden to say that it would always going to end in chaos. OK, chaos of some kind, but organised chaos, if you like.
Yeah.
There was no system. You know, how come Bagram Airport wasn't used as well? How come we aren't getting people out into Pakistan, into camps there, so that they can sit there and then wait to be processed? You know, these people are trapped.
But I think there's and we talked about this yesterday, there's a misunderstanding of we put the borders there, but Afghanistan, as you say, Pakistan, all of those countries around them are probably where refugees would rather go so that they can always come home because they want to come home. I just want to show you the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, defending the new resettlement scheme.
We are working quickly on this.
So why not $20,000 all at once?
Primarily because we cannot accommodate 20,000 people all in one go. We have to have this. Well, actually, I spoke to the Canadians last night, Kay, and they can't.
OK, so what did they,
so,
what did they say to you?
So I will tell you now what they've
Please.
said. They have an aspiration for 20,000 people, and that also includes their locally employed staff. So we are talking about this new scheme in addition to the work that we are doing with locally employed staff.
It's a bit difficult to understand when they say, you know, 5,000 this year. It sounds like a sort of holiday scheme. Do they really think the Taliban's going to, you know, imagine saying to one of those women, 2024, you're welcome to come here. I mean, it's hard to believe that once the Americans go, that anyone will be let out.
No, it's almost impossible to know what will happen. I mean, the Taliban gave that press conference, which was extraordinary, and everybody thought, oh, well, they're saying, oh, no, the women can, you know, work, they can learn. But no, this is just the Taliban, you know, with better PR, communicate in English. Lowri was talking earlier about, you know, OK, our sanctions, we have power, we starve them of money. But China is in there.
Yeah.
Russia, we don't know what part Russia's playing. They're both keeping their embassies open. They've been talking
And Iran.
to the Taliban. Oh, exactly. All of these countries, you know, if China is the power behind this, basically, I think.